Feeling so light, hearing the angelic sounds of our ancestors singing through the night for the supernova body. Listen to the realms of beyond, sacred wisdom healing my mind. Chakras align when I listen to supernova day. It's more than a podcast, it's a whole vibe. Expanding consciousness as you shift your mind. Tune into the supernova body so you can raise your vibration. Don't be afraid to make changes and create a new you. It's more than a podcast, it's a whole vibe. Expanding consciousness as you shift your mind. Supernova body, a cosmic party. New way of life, it's a supernova body. Yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 12, season 2 of Supernova Body Podcast. I am your host, Simone Michelle, and I'm so grateful that you are here today. Today, we are talking about ancestral veneration. So I just want to put a disclaimer out there. If this doesn't align with your belief system or you are opposed to it, I'm setting a boundary now. Okay, that's how you feel, right? I am simply sharing my understanding of ancestral veneration with you. How you choose to take it is how you choose to take it. However, how I feel about it is very cemented. So, with that being said, welcome today. And I hope that you learned something today or take away something positive, good vibes or laughter, joy, whatever. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get right on into it. What even is that, right? Ancestral veneration is not necessarily worship. Okay, let me be very clear. In different cultures, society, places, and spaces, it means very different things to very different people. So I am explaining a broad range of what it means to a broad range of people. Okay, so it can look like worship, but it is not necessarily worshiping those that have died as a deity. But it can be just depending on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and whatever. It's generally about honoring, respecting, and being grateful for those that have went before us, remembering their contributions, believing in who they were, and taking a moment out to be respectful and honor that, to offer reverence, right? In a way that is not to say that this person is above God, this person is above any other deity, being, or higher power, that this person has brought me more than generational trauma, right? Why can our ancestors give us generational trauma but not knowledge, love, peace, and help, right? Anywho, you feel how you feel. But I think that our ancestors can offer us in this lifetime and current existence more than just generational trauma, more than just pain to overcome, but wisdom and love and peace and guidance and all of those things that help us day to day. I think it's possible. Yeah. Yeah. So the concepts, so I'm going to go through a couple different concepts. Possible that you could have a continuous relationship, right? That just because you are absent from this body doesn't mean that our connection to you is gone, right? And I know Christianity has some points and views about ancestral veneration, let the dead bury the dead, um, do not consult with other spirits, etc. Uh, to avoid going into a whole other topic and down a very long rabbit hole and sound like a very crazy conspiracy theorist, I'm gonna just brush over it and just acknowledge it and say I'm aware. I'm aware that it's there, and we're gonna continue. Okay, cool. Just want to get that out there and move on. Okay, so it's the continuous belief that um, you can continue to interact with people that you've loved, that are part of your family line, close friends, or spiritual advisors, right? Um, that our ancestors can act as intermediaries between the living and divine spiritual realms, you know, going as go-betweens, right, between us, God, or a higher self, highest self, depending on if you're familiar with God consciousness, right? Um, and the ultimate purpose and benefit, oh, that's feeling weird. The ultimate purpose and benefit of ancestral veneration is a connection to your roots and identity. So this is major, right? We of the African diaspora are were taken, right? I had to learn from DNA examination where my people came from, right? I had to learn through digging and searching and like crying and really really fighting the powers that be to get a better understanding of who I am, right? Having a direct connect to your roots as depicted in Wakanda, for real, is beneficial to who you are. It gives you a sense of identity, belonging, connection. Who Never mind. I'm not. I'm trying so hard not to go down that conspiracy rabbit hole with you, but it's not a conspiracy. It's actually facts. But I'll save it for another day. Uh, it would benefit you, right, to have that connection to your identity, right? It would definitely make you a stronger, solid person in who you are. You'd be able to have those core values and boundaries really set easily, right? Um, so it would kind of be beneficial if someone were to not have a sense of identity or connection, right? It's okay. All right. Guidance and wisdom. We have the ability through ancestral veneration to receive guidance, wisdom, advice, protection, blessings from those who have lived before us, right? Um, Essentially, they are here to offer that. We have a direct link, and we could tap into it. I'm just saying, we could definitely tap into it because it's there, and it allows us to also heal intergenerational trauma. This is something that can happen and occur through past life regressions. We can literally go and be and see and get an understanding of what was happening. Um, I think I spoke about it before, but if I haven't, I'll speak about it now. I've done several past life regressions that allowed me to see the root of generational trauma that I was currently experiencing or fighting within my own life or the life of my children. And in seeing that and getting a better understanding of that, I had the roadmap of how to heal this for real from the root of it, not just from the fruit of it, which is a great intangible power to have, right? It's a great opportunity to be able to see and experience these things so that you get a better understanding of how to be free, right? How to really, truly be free. Um, yes. Also, it allows you to reinforce family values, loyalty, gratitude, and respect for your elders, which I feel me and my friends kind of talk about, is lost for real. It's lost for real. Like people, these generations of kids don't respect people. Okay, and it's because there is no sense of respect for those that came before you, right? Those that have paved the way. It's kind of just like, well, microwaved, everything's given to me. I have access to everything. I don't really care how it got here. Like we're not kind of enforcing that appreciation and gratitude, and that is vital, right? That those characteristics and traits are vital in order to um, be able to move forward. So, in some cultures and beliefs, people believe that that attribution, love, admiration is given to another deity when it should be given to the people that came before us and have done the work. But that is, different cultures, different feelings, different beliefs. It's rarely our place to tell somebody else that's wrong. It's rarely our place to tell somebody else, I don't get it, without listening and understanding and doing the understanding and work for yourself, right? That's just the way I live my life. Who am I? Who am I? I'm just sharing information. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Okay. Community and family cohesion. So rituals, which are in the Bible too. So just want to put that out there because people like to argue and tussle, and I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to avoid these things. Um, Community and family cohesion. You can have rituals and things that you do together that bring family and communities together, right? Um, we do that. Like back when I was Seventh Day Adventist, 100% every day, all day, every single Sabbath, we would bring it in together and then be released to like actually have fun. Not actually have fun, but released to like play and do stuff that wasn't considered like reverent to God. But that's what we would do together. That was a ritual, essentially. Every single weekend, we broke Sabbath together. Jewish people have some of the same practices. People of Muslim and Hebrew descent have some of the same practices. Different religions have different rituals, and it allows you to be closer as a unit and as a community, and go forward and prosper. Another really great ritual is the golden hour, where you take time to either meditate, sound therapy, just be together with your family, close out the day, and practice together or have reverence or gratitude. Have reverence or gratitude for the day. Um, okay. Remembering your ancestors also enhances your morality, right? It enhances your respect for others because if you honor those before you and you honor elders and you honor people, then more honor is bestowed upon you. And that same principle, if you pass it on to generations, like it increases the morality within the dynamics. All right. So, the history of ancestral veneration, it has touched every single continent. It has touched every single race, group, culture, ethnicity of people. There's not one group of people on this earth that has not once, at one point in time, chosen to respect their elders, which is essentially ancestral veneration. In what capacity and to what extent varies absolutely 100%. But the practice has been done and is continuing to be done on every single continent, right? Um, there are ancestral roots that reference the Neolithic period, ancient China, Egypt, and Rome. Um, Historically in Europe, the across the entire Africa diaspora, indigenous Americans, um, everyone you could think of. If you look at Latin America, if you look at South America, and the Aztecas, the Mayan temples, these places were, uh, there was a deep reverence and respect for those that came before. There was a deep reverence and respect for um, the ancestors, right? Whether they were ancestors that became gods through whatever process or whatever, they were respected and revered, right? So The commonality and the innateness of it is something that I question why it is villainized and viewed as evil and demonic, right? Um, who benefits from that concept? Who benefits from that distortion? Okay, common practices and rituals. So, altars and shrines, which are dedicated spaces in your home or your car or office or workspace or whatever, where personal belongings and offerings are for your ancestors. And what does that do? It invites them in and invites them to be a protection and a hedge, and it shows respect that you're taking them with you physically, metaphorically, spiritually, emotionally. Sometimes these spaces uh, have offerings, or people have separate offerings in different space where they offer food, water, incense, candles, flowers, spiritual money, or actual money that translates into spiritual money. Um, Gravesite maintenance, that is an act of ancestral veneration. Going and leaving flowers and going to visit the gravesite and um, shouting out veterans on Veterans Day that have passed and gone on. That is ancestral veneration, like in its simplest form. The act of just acknowledging those that have went before you. Dios los muertos, the Day of the Dead. I don't know if I said that right. Dios, I'm gonna have to look that up because I feel like Dios los muertos. Day of the Dead. The Remember Me movie on Disney. Every time I see it, I cry because can you imagine, like it happens in so many families, right? You get the clarity of what really happened for real and stop the lies or stop the whatever so that things can be corrected for real. It's the power of past life regressions. It's the power of ancestral veneration. Freedom for real. Like real talk. Storytelling. Oh, God, storytelling, telling the stories of those before you and continuing the story and carrying it on. It's a beautiful practice, a beautiful experience that so many different cultures honor and implement into their existence, right? Prayer and invocation, that can look like directly communicating with your ancestors and praying for their guidance and praying for their help and their support and their love and their correction, whatever. Also getting dreams. How many people have you heard talking about, oh, my grandma came to me last night, or my father came to me and told me something, or I saw it in a dream that this was to come, or my ancestors, I just felt like this really crazy experience or whatever. And you are saved, sanctified, filled with all of the Holy Ghost. But that's happening. And it did prepare you and it did protect you. Okay, modern interpretations of ancestral veneration can look like um, people having a formal religious experience or um, honoring ancestors like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King and choosing to invoke or ask them for guidance or help in certain situations. Like there are so many different practices, and I don't want to be very specific in what I highlight in this episode. So I'm trying to be very broad. It's taking my brain some time to formulate a way to do that. But um, a modern tool will be what I kind of spoke on is past life regressions, new age kind of sciencey type vibe, where you are um, going back to connect, to have clarity on how to move forward and how to heal and how to be free from whatever was plaguing them in their generation that has carried through the bloodline and is definitely manifesting in your life presently. Um, a lot of people practice hoodoo and voodoo still, or practice veneration in a lot of different Yoruban or African continent beliefs and Kemetic or Egyptian beliefs, or Mayan and Azteca or indigenous Aboriginal beliefs that just kind of continues, and people have modernized it, added their own spin to it, or just trying to honor how it was initially intended based on what is innate to them. So you have your own freedom to choose how it works for you. If it's something that you agree with, if it's something that you don't agree with, that's your option to do. It doesn't have to be formal or elaborate. It doesn't have to be as defined or as ritualistic as other people may have their experiences. It's completely up to you if you want to even implement it into your life. However, why should our ancestors only give us their trauma? They have so much more for us. And I think that they're willing and available to give that to us and help us through life. And we can honor them 100% without it conflicting with anything else, because they're people. They were people who had an experience on earth, and their experience on earth gave them wisdom that we can readily use to avoid pitfalls that they may have encountered. So we can't talk about ancestral veneration without talking about the ancestors we may not want to speak of. We may not want to talk about them. But there are in every bloodline people that you may not necessarily be the most proud of or the most honored to be a part of their bloodline. However, they still teach us. They still teach us, and they still have lessons and things that we can learn from their life, from their experience here on earth. And we can practice gratitude even for them, right? Even for them, however they became an ancestor, which whether it was voluntary or not. Even for them, I'm laughing, but I'm very serious. I'm so serious. Even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. Yeah. 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 Acknowledging them is not condoning. It's just acknowledging that they're there. And connected to them may be some beautiful people. But their actions sucked. Yeah. But they connected you to a whole nother lineage, a whole nother line of people, and hey, it is what it is. We can also have peace with that. And we can also heal through that, being able to call it out for what it is. Okay. Yeah. I think this can be a beautiful process if you allow it and allow God to really guide you in the process, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a quick little episode. It wasn't too much. I didn't want to go too deep because I'm trying my best not to sound like I got a tinfoil hat on and I just spend all my time just craziness, because it's not, it's not craziness. But I also want to be respectful of the episodes to come where I explain a lot of this in a lot more detail, and really expand upon concepts that I'm trying to kind of tiptoe around, because it's all in that episode and I want you to listen to that episode. So I'm trying to give you an incentive to listen to that episode. And so this is just kind of an introduction, a little brief deep dive into concepts that you may have viewed to be very evil or disingenuous or dangerous, that may not necessarily be the villain that we've made them in our minds, and could quite possibly be something that our culture as a whole is missing, right? For the sake of morality alone. Just even acknowledging your ancestors, whether you have a practice or whatever, it's not the evilness that some religions and practices try to make it out to be. Okay. Yes, I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you got something from today, even if it was just laughing at my expense. That's fine. That's fine. You got something. All right. I hope that you have a beautiful day wherever you're listening, or at night, or wherever. I don't know what time it is, or what you're doing, or how you're doing it, or when you're doing it. But I thank you so much. I'm full of so much gratitude and grace, and I appreciate you. I love you. All right. You have a great day. Bye.